ಚರಣೆನು ಪುರರ ರಾಣಿಯ ನಾಚೆರೆ ನಾಚೆರೆ ನಿತಾಯ್ ಗೌರ ಧ್ವಜ ಮಾನಿಯ ನಾಚೆರೆ ನಿತಾಯ್ ಗೌರ ಧ್ವಜ ಮಾನಿಯ দুই ভাই নাচি জয়া সহচর গণ গায়া দুই ভাই নাচি জয়া সহচর গণ গায়া গদাধর অঙ্গে পড়ে ধুলিয়া গদাধর অঙ্গে পড়ে ধুলিয়া নাচে রে নিতাই গৌর ধ্বজ মানিয়া নাচে রে নিতাই গৌর ধ্বজ মানিয়া পুরুবর ভাষা লীলা এবে প্রভু প্রকাশিলা পুরুবর ভাষা লীলা এবে প্রভু প্রকাশিলা সেই বৃন্দাবন এই নাদিয়া সেই বৃন্দাবন এই নাদিয়া নাচে রে নিতাই গৌর ধ্বজ মানিয়া নাচে রে নিতাই গৌর ধ্বজ মানিয়া বিহারে গঙ্গা তীরে সেই ধীর সামিরে বিহারে গঙ্গা তীরে সেই ধীর সামিরে বৃন্দাবন দাসে কোহে জানিয়া বৃন্দাবন দাসে কোহে জানিয়া নাচে রে নিতাই গৌর ধ্বজ মানিয়া নাচে রে নিতাই গৌর ধ্বজ মানিয়া জয় গৌরনিতাই 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 জয় গৌরনিতাই জয় গৌরনিতাই 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 জয় গৌরনিতাই নিতাই গৌর হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল নিতাই গৌর হরি বল Hare Krishna. Should I also sing the translation?
Yes, Mataji, please read the translation.
Nitai and Gaura Gunamani, Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Nitai and Gaura Gunamani are dancing and dancing with beloved Gadadhar on their left and Srivasa and Advaita on the right, while their associates defeat the stars that surround the Gaura moon. The mridangas and kartalas are played and sweet songs are sung. The sky is filled with the chanting of Harinama. His body is anointed with sandal paste and drops of holy juice, and a forest flower garland dangles nicely across his chest. A white Brahman thread hangs across his neck. His form defeats millions of cupids, and ankle bells jingle on his feet. The two brothers are dancing with their associates sing while Gadadhar's body is pelted with powder. Now the Lord re-manifests his previous joyful Vrindavan pastimes in this Nadia. Now he enjoys on the bank of the Ganga, just like in Vrindavan Tira, just like in Vrindavan. Vrindavan's Dhira Samira Kunja. Vrindavan Das tells you, for he knows it. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Madhu Krishna Prabhu. So we will be starting the Bhagavatam. So Prabhu, how would you like to go ahead? Would you like to share the screen?
Yes. Is someone volunteering to read, or should I go ahead?
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, would you like to read? Anyone would like to read?
Yes, Prithvi, I would like to read the translation and the purport.
Okay. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. अथा विश्वेश विश्वात्मान् विश्वमूर्ते स्वकेषु मे स्नेहपाशम् इमं छिन्दी हृदं पाण्डषु वृष्णिषु. Yes, Prabhu. Panchajanya Prabhu.
Yes. Translation: O Lord of the universe, soul of the universe, O personality of the form of the universe, please therefore sever my tie of affection from my kinsmen, the Pandavas and the Vrishnis. Purport: a pure devotee of the Lord is ashamed to ask anything in self interest from the Lord. But the householders are sometimes obliged to ask favors from the Lord, being bound by the tie of family affection. Srimati Kunti Devi was conscious of this fact and therefore she prayed to the Lord to cut off the affectionate tie from her own kinsmen, the Pandavas and the Vrishnis. The Pandavas are her own sons, and the Vrishnis are the members of her paternal family. Krishna was equally related to both the families. Both the families required the Lord's help because both were dependent devotees of the Lord. Srimati Kunti Devi wished Sri Krishna to remain with her sons of the Pandavas, but by his doing so, her paternal house would be bereft of the benefit. All these partialities troubled the mind of Kunti, and therefore she desired to cut off the affectionate tie. A pure devotee cuts off the limited ties of affection from his family and widens his activities of devotional service for all forgotten souls. The typical example in is the band of six Goswamis who followed the path of Lord Chaitanya. All of them belong to the most enlightened and cultured rich families of higher castes. But for the benefit of mass of population, they left their comfortable homes and became mendicants. To cut off all family affection means to broaden the field of activities. Without doing this, no one can be qualified as a Brahmana, a king, a public leader, or a devotee of the Lord. The personality of Godhead as an ideal king showed by his example. Sri Ramachandra cut off the tie of affection for his beloved wife to manifest the qualities of an ideal king. Such personalities, such as a Brahmana, a devotee, a king, or a public leader, must be very broad minded in discharging their respective duties. Srimati Kunti Devi was conscious of this fact, and being weak, she prayed to be free from such bondage of family affection. The Lord is addressed as the Lord of the universe or the Lord of the universal mind, indicating his all powerful ability to cut the hard knot of family affection. Therefore, it is sometimes experienced that the Lord, out of his special affinity towards a weak devotee, breaks the family affection by force of circumstances arranged by his all powerful energy. By doing so, he causes the devotee to become completely dependent on him and thus clears the path for his going back home, back to Godhead.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
So, we'll start with prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते इन्दुतुम्नस्वामिनिति नामिने नमः प्रभुपादप्रियदासाय जगन्नाथयात्रनन्दमूर्तये भक्तसुखाय कृष्णकीर्तयेन निःसिंहेन रक्षिताय नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So I have got this service of sharing some of my reflections for today's uh, Bhagavatam uh, class, and so currently, before starting, I would like to request blessings from all the devotees, and so that I can properly share my reflections and realizations, and please forgive any mistakes which may make, and which I may speak something wrong, which like opposite to the tattva. Okay, so then so this this verse is from the glorious chapter on the Srimad Bhagavatam first canto, the prayers of Queen Kunti. And so the scene which this verse before this, if we follow the Srimad Bhagavatam, what happens is Ashwathama Ashwathama like fires an Brahmastra weapon on King Parikshit. So Maharaj Parikshit, who was still in the womb of Uttara. So just to they so kill everything from in the descendants of Pandavas. So Ashwathama wanted to kill Maharaj Parikshit when he was still in the womb. So for that, what he did was he fired a Brahmastra. So yeah, we already know that from the Mahabharata, and then our merciful Lord saved saved Maharaj Parikshit. So by absorbing the Brahmastra, and yeah, for an ordinary person, it might be miraculous feat, but for the Supreme Lord, it's just for him, Brahmastra is nothing. So yeah. So if you see, the name of this chapter is also that prayers by Queen Kunti and Parikshit saved. So that's the scene how it comes, that Parikshit Maharaj was saved first, and then and all this was happening when actually Lord Krishna was about to leave for Dwarka, because the war was over, and there were many chapters where before that uh, where um, Yudhishthir Maharaj had a conversation with I think in the next chapter it happens, where Yudhishthir Maharaj takes blessings from Bhishma Dev. So in between, basically, it's a part where actually Krishna was about to depart from Dwarka, from Kurukshetra, and then yeah, and between uh, Queen Kunti basically offers her prayers uh, to the Lord, and with so many things happened. If you just stand in front the feet of, like, if you just be in the position of Queen Kunti, it has been a roller coaster. There was a war which happened, and then again her eldest son was actually in the battle, and he was fighting from the other side, and Pandavas were her own son as well. And like, if you see from a role of a mother, it was again emotional roller coaster. And then again she finally comes to the Lord, and just, and she is not able to bear that Krishna is leaving. Krishna will leave now. So if you go few verses back, she also prays that, Krishna, you were there for with us until there was so much calamities on us. So we don't want to we don't want to we want to be in your association. We don't want to leave your association. So let the calamities come upon us more and more. So so this kind of like this, we can imagine how Queen Kunti is teaching us, like Krishna consciousness is the most important thing in our life. And now also, if you see here, she is actually praying to the Lord that let my attachment or affection for my kinsmen, the Pandavas and the Vrishnis, let that go. Let my attachment just severe. She's praying that, just cut this attachment. See, like cut this relationship as well, so that what there is no obligation for me to feel, to feel obligated and always being tensed about what is happening in the family. So if you see, Queen Kunti, as in the verse also says, she was part of both the Vrishnis and the family of the Kurus. So the Vrishnis is her paternal family, and once she got married, she came to the families of the Kurus. So yeah, so as you can see that Queen Kunti is praying that let this attachment get cut. So yeah, so what we can understand, Srila Prabhupada says in his lectures that, bhakti means to be free from attachment of this material world. And or then someone can ask, like, how is it bhakti if we are getting detached only? But Prabhupada also says that after being detached, we also have to become attached to Krishna. So like Gyanis normally try to become detached, and also Dhyanis, like Ashtanga yogis, they try to get detached from this world and get detached from everything. They call this world as Maya. So yeah, then they try to focus their senses, their mind to the Paramatma, but again, it's they are not able to like fix it for too long, because they are not getting attached to Krishna directly. So yeah, so now the bhakti, like normally again, it is very important to understand, like that the yoga process is about getting attached to Krishna. So now what we see in our normal world, people are asking for like getting liberation, or maybe getting free of miseries, uh, uh, but uh, but from the Lord, they are coming to Krishna and they are asking for this. And Srila Prabhupada used to tell that, people come and they ask for their daily bread. But that is not what should we should ask from Krishna. We should follow in the footsteps of Queen Kunti, and we should actually ask Krishna to sever our ties from this material world and these material attachments which we have. So 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 if you see what here it is being taught is vairagya. So there is a verse, actually, where in Chaitanya Charitamrit, where they actually like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya uh, uh, give addresses like how to learn uh, like the renunciation or detachment from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I will briefly share my screen again just to share that verse. Yeah. So this is from Chaitanya Charitamrit, Madhya Lila, 6.6 chapter 254th verse. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shikshartham Eka Purusha Purana Sri Krishna Chaitanya Shariradhari Kripam Buddhir Yastam Aham Prapadye. Let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who has descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us real knowledge, his devotional service, and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. He has descended because he is an ocean of transcendental mercy. Let me surrender unto his lotus feet. So, yes, so here if you see that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is mentioning the point where detachment for whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. So anything. So if we see, if you also see the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had everything. He had a follower like in Navadvip. He had such a following where he during oh, we all know the pastime of Srivashangan um, where one of the midangas were broken, and and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started a civil disobedience movement against the Qazi, right? And then he had lakhs of devotees actually followed him. So he had following, like and then he had a beautiful wife, and he was also a pandit. So whatever, we normally materialist desire from their life, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had that in his life. But then at age of 25 years old, he actually left everything, and he left his family, he left his mother, and he left such a respectable position he had in Nadia. So then he accepted sannyas, and that was done for for preaching. So again, we can understand that why Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is offer like saying this, how we have to learn detachment from Mahaprabhu. So yeah, so we can and what in this purport also Srila Prabhupada gave the examples of all the acharyas. So we also hear, like whenever our pranam, like in the end we do Jayadvani, right, in kirtans, or after artis we say Vairagya Murti, right? Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj we say, and then Raghunath Das Goswami, who we can learn Vairagya from them, and all the acharyas. It's not only them. There are some examples. So where for getting attached to Krishna, we have to get detached. So this detachment is very, very important. So now after this, we if we just try to understand from where this this attachment comes, eh, all this comes because of all these material designations. And why these material designations come? Because of the false ego. False ego leads us to think, in this bodily conception, I am this, I am that, I am a husband, I am a wife, um I am I'm Indian, I'm some I'm a freedom fighter or something else. Always I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor or something. So it always tries to bind us, all this, our false ego. So, what is our actual ego? True ego is that we are the servants of the Supreme Lord, right? So, this is very important. So, we always tend to, if you see, if we rise in the morning, even after like, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter, we still, it is written in the 10th offense, right? So we still maintain our bodily conception. So this bodily conception is the main the source from which we are getting this material designations, and these designations finally binds us, it attaches us to this material world. again, we have, if you see, like Arjuna, Arjuna was also like, he was the friend of the Supreme Lord. Like, and Krishna spoke the Gita to him because he was the friend and he was the bhakta. But still, he was bewildered because he was thinking in the bodily conception. He was bewildered how, these are my friends, these are my grandparents, these are my gurus. How can I fight against them? Let me leave. So he also got bewildered. So again, if we see on our practical lives, in the Varnashram, there are three ashrams apart from Grihastha ashram is actually is based on developing detachment from from this material world. So we can, so all these things is basically emphasizes how important Vairagya is. And again, we are not Gyanis or Dhyanis. We, after detachment, what we have to do? We have to attach ourselves to Krishna. So then, again, following in the footsteps of Queen Kunti, Arjuna, and all the acharyas, like, even if we are in our Grihastha lives, we have to base, revolve our, design our lives in such a way that we are always focused in Krishna's service. So, yeah, I have, like, I hear from my mentor that there are three S's in life: uh, Seva, Sadhana, and Shravanam. So if we are, focus, we are designing our lives, our daily schedule in these three S: Sadhana, Seva, and Shravanam. So then, even if we are in, so in our material life, or we are going out, we are doing so many things, we are actually working, we are mixing with so many different people, but yeah, with all our responsibilities in our Grihastha life as well, maybe people can say that, all the other ashrams are very easy. The main business is, the main program there is to, always be revolve around this. But in our Grihastha life also it is possible, with all our various books, lectures, and services they're always possible. And and if we are also for doing our job like Arjuna, like Arjuna was killing, but like doing his duty as a Kshatriya, like to please the Supreme Lord. So similarly, in the same mentality, if we are just working to please the Supreme Lord, then we are also will be in that consciousness. So finally, again, once we are getting detached, it comes to the consciousness, how we are progressing in our life, how we are designing our life, to become getting attached to Krishna. So again, so again, going back to the source, we, all these designations we have to first of all um, get rid of. We shouldn't think that we are this, we are I am father, I'm father, I'm a brother, I'm a friend, or something, like always in this bodily conception. So there's this verse, Sarvavadi Vinirmuktam Tat Praktena Nirmalam. So Sarvo Upadhi Vinirmuktam. So we have to, get rid. We have to, like, Muktam. Muktam means, Mukti. And what to get Mukti of? All the Sarvo Upadhis. So we have to get rid of all these upadhis from our, which comes from the bodily conception. And then we have to get attached ourselves to Krishna. So so finally, I'll end this small uh, small reflection sharing from myself, that let's follow in the footsteps of the acharyas, let's follow in the footsteps of Queen Kunti, and that even we like, and let's try to get detached, and let's try to do these three S's in our life: Shravanam, sadhana and seva, and which by which we can um, actually get attached. After getting detached from the material aspects, we have to also have to get attached. So by doing these three and being in the association of devotees, and finally we also have to do our rounds very nicely, or we are, if we are not doing this, we will keep on making the 10th offense again and again, and will not be able to um, advance in our spiritual life. Okay, so thus I humbly end my sharing. Hare Krishna. Any question, devotees, or any comments you would like to add? Again, anything, if I speak, if you think it is correct, it is again the uh, all credit goes to Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, and all the senior Vaishnavas. And any mistakes, please forgive me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for such a nice lecture. I like those three S's. The sadhana, Sravanam, and Seva. So yes, Gurudev also said that you focus on your sadhana, service will come, and also do the hearing. So hearing is like we always do, like Sravanam, Kirtanam. Yeah, so devotees, if you have any questions around the class, you can ask.
Hare Krishna. Madhu Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Vijay.
Yeah, it was a gentle but wonderful points you brought about, with multiple references from the scriptures. Something for me to take away is, again, as Nandraj Prabhu highlighted, Shravanam, Sadhana, and Shravanam, service,
Sadhana.
Seva,
Sadhana and
and
Seva.
Sadhana. Yeah. So sadhana is also, Shravanam is also sadhana. All two are anyway sadhana, right? The Seva is a sadhana, and Shravanam is also a sadhana. So what is, or did we miss another? This S got mapped differently by any chance?
Like mainly, yes, actually, Prabhu, like Shravanam also comes under sadhana. But
Hmm.
again, the key, I think, when we say like this three S's, I think sadhana means like chanting as well, kirtanam, chanting the holy name. So that also.
Okay. No, anyway, it just clicked to me as I was speaking. The other part was
Seva.
so Seva. So I was hearing some devotee couple of days back. We were conversing, and he was saying, whatever you pray, like continuously pray for, that something you have a strong desire in your heart, again, for a spiritual gain, right? So for your spiritual progress, let's say you want to improve your chanting, or you want a lot of seva, you want to do a lot of shravanam, or you want to do Bhagavatam reading. If you pray from the bottom of your heart, and then also reveal your heart to some confidential devotees, that please, pray for me, that uh, um, I get this benediction. Actually, Lord hears through devotees, and you'll be blessed with that particular mood. Okay, be it hearing, be it reading, and it is not one person. I've heard it from at least 3, 4. I would say like really senior devotees who are. I mean, from the way I look at them, they are like role models for many devotees in terms of their own sadhana. So, yeah. And something that I have also realized to some extent, not like them, but to a little extent, where I could pray and then, something, let's say a service. Uh, yeah, this is. Yeah, we should pray. We should pray that such and such spiritual inclination should come to me, and then yeah, I mean, each of them like compound each other, like they complement each other actually. So Shravanam feeds into uh, uh, the taste for hearing, feeds into chanting, and the same uh, again makes someone humble, and then they also want to do service. So as you do service, that humility increases, and then yeah, so it's a cycle. So I mean, if we pray at least for one of these, the journey actually uh, starts with a good speed. Yeah. So in all, I think wonderful and very subtle points that you have shared. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much for that sharing as well, Prabhu. Yes, we should, like, sometimes when we move ahead with all these things, it takes time because it's cleaning, right? And then, then we have to surrender to Krishna, and we have to pray for much intense, seva, shravanam, and sadhana. And then, yeah, things will grow. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Anyone would like
Thank you.
to share anything?
So if we don't have anything, we will move ahead with the diary chapter. We have low attendance today
I
because
think it is because of
there
the
are
Delhi
book
book
tour.
tour, maybe, yeah.
Yes, Prabhu, correct.
Or some are hearing the live class. Um,
Yes.
yeah, would be all right. Good,
And
Prabhu. So,
mostly
mm.
they most of the devotees are in vacation also. That is another reason.
True. Yes, correct.
Yeah. So I have shared the diary chapter link in the group. So anybody who would like to read, any volunteers?
I can read, Prabhu, if it's okay.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So yeah, thank you.
So, Volume 5, Chapter 24, Upon the Hill, July 25th to 31st, 2004. As I work on this chapter of my diary, I am at a loss as to how to begin and how to finish. The Great Woodstock Festival has just concluded. I don't know how to put it into words Krishna's village of peace, situated on a small plateau over the festival site and looking like a temple on a hill, and the miraculous event that took place there over 3 days. From every direction at the Woodstock Festival, the 300,000 people who attended could see us. A month earlier, we were inspecting the general area with Jurek Ovsiak, the main organizer. Jurek pointed to the plateau. That hills for Krishna, he said. It was a gift whose value we could only appreciate after Woodstock had actually begun. At first, I was a bit uneasy about the entire Woodstock site. It was a new location on the western side of Poland, next to the German border. Unlike the previous city in Zari, which was flat and easily accessible, the new area in Kostrzyn nad Odra was a field in the middle of forested region. It was a wild area, full of wasps, ticks, and mosquitoes. My apprehension grew when a local farmer told me about the place. We suspect there are munitions left over from World War II under the ground here, he said. Often people find artillery shells and bombs while digging foundations for new homes or businesses. Where did they come from? I asked. During World War II, Kostrzyn was part of Germany, he said. It was the last line of defense before Berlin, and it was well fortified. In March 1944, the Allies bombed Kostrzyn for 14 days and nights with 3,150 planes. 98% of the town was destroyed. He pointed out to the hill 50 meters away, where we would put up Krishna's village of peace. That hill took the brunt of it, he said. There was heavy artillery up there protecting the town. He looked in another direction. You see those army men, he said. They are searching this entire area of Woodstock Festival with special metal detectors to find any shells or munitions left over from the war. Come with me. I will show you something else. We walked 50 meters in yet another direction, and he showed me a vast walled cavern in the ground. The Germans hid their aircraft here, he said. It goes down 3 stories. The earth would open up and they would fly out of the ground. Our devotees worked for a week alongside the army men, clearing the land of bushes, old trees, and rocks. A tent a tent company came in our an improvised road we had laid and spent the next 3 days putting up a tent 90 meters long and 30 meters wide. That they proceeded to put up the smaller tents, which we would use to depict different aspects of Vedic culture. This is real taming the wild, I thought. With the addition of water pipes and electrical poles, everything began to take shape. And in the last days before the festival, our devotee artists came and decorated our site with artistic structures, colorful cloth, and even a prefabricated Vedic temple. The site looked like heaven on earth. Gazing in the small valley below, one could see huge preparations finishing up for the Woodstock festival itself. A gigantic stage, 400 toilets, 40 telephone booths, numerous sinks and basins for washing, 2 poles that sprouted water for showering, and a massive area of improvised shops and restaurants. I counted over 60 food stalls, putting up signs displaying all kinds of foods, but not a single one offering vegetarian fare. I couldn't begin to tally the number of stands really to sell beer. In nearby Caucasian people were very wary of the devotees who flooded the town to shop and go on the internet in the last days, in the days leading up the big festival. In one store in particular, employees were assigned to follow all devotees who came in and make sure they didn't steal. The Woodstock festival lasts 2 days, but Jurek Osiak is a close friend of ours and always lets us start a day early in appreciation for our contribution to the event. My heart was beating strongly the morning we opened our village. A great opportunity awaited us. Close to 300 devotees from Baltics, Russia, Ukraine, and other parts of Europe had come to assist our core festival group of 250 devotees. And that morning, we busied ourselves dividing our forces between kitchen duties, service on the field, stage shows, and administration. There was action everywhere as we made final preparation. Big trucks rolled onto our festival grounds, delivering the last of the 30 tons of foodstuff needed to reach our goal of 100,000 plates of prasadam. An enormous pot just to the side of our food distribution tent simmered with 3,500 liters of beans. Early comers gawked at the pot, and the devotees who stood on a ladder stirred the beans with a huge wooden spoon. Devotees put up freshly made signs on the tents: yoga, meditations, question and answers, Ayurveda, books, gifts, gopi dots, vegetarianism, and reincarnation. But the most attractive tent of all was the temple, presided over by our Radha Krishna deities, Gandharvika Giridhari. Great Kirtaniyas arrived just in time. Bibi Govinda Swami with his bhajan band from Kazakhstan, Lokanath Swami and Shivram Swami. Stalwart preachers followed: Chandramauli Swami, Deenabandhu Prabhu, Kavichandra Swami, Kripamoya Prabhu, Panchajangri Prabhu, and Umapati Swami. The stage was set. And last but not least, late that morning, the sun finally broke through the clouds, bringing an end to the drizzle that had hampered our efforts for days. A cheer went up from all the hardworking devotees. Surely the demigods had been watching from their airplanes just above our sight, and they dispelled any last obstacles to our preaching. The good weather stayed throughout the entire Woodstock. It was a real blessing. Had it rained, the steep access road up our hill would have become a mud slick, and few would have braved the climb. It was only potential weak point on our side, and one I was conscious of at every moment. At 11 a.m., a devotee blew a conch, and as I tore down the red tape around our 2 acre site, kids came flowing into Krishna's village of peace in huge numbers. Many went straight for the food distribution tent, other to the stage program, which was just beginning. Our sound system, capable of addressing 50,000 people, was broadcasting Sri Prahlad's Kirtan down into valley. Within minutes, a reporter with a camera crew came up to me, and a woman introduced herself. We are from the main television channel in Germany, she said. Can you tell us something about the history of this Woodstock festival? Yes, I said, and I will tell you about Krishna's village of peace too. Oh, excuse me, she said. I thought this was the principal event. Your site is so big and so attractive. Where are the organizers of the main Woodstock festival? Just down there in that valley, I replied. She smiled. We'll be back, she said. No sooner had I seen them off than another television crew appeared. I did not have the time to ask who they were, so I just did the interview. I stressed that we are invited back to Woodstock every year because we support the themes of Woodstocks: no violence and no narcotics. What positive contribution do you make? And the interviewer asked. I smiled. To begin with, I said, 100,000 plates of delicious vegetarian food and a spiritual theme park with unlimited attractions, singing, dancing, yoga, theater, philosophical books, an Indian temple. Cut, shouted the interviewer to the crew. The list was too long. That night, Jurek Ovsiak called Nandini. I saw Maharaj's interview on national television, he told her. It was great. Maharaj said all the things right, all the right things. We are happy to work together with you on the Woodstock festival. Jurek. Nandini said, can you come over at 10:30 tonight when our bands are playing and officially open Krishna Village of Peace? Yes, of course, he replied. That night, in a tent packed with over 5,000 kids, Jurek came on our stage and welcomed everyone to Krishna's Village of Peace. The kids roared in approval. We were off to a good start. The next day was the official opening day for the Woodstock festival itself. Called for 10 devotees to go with him on the main stage to open the event. With 200,000 kids watching and television cameras rolling, he asked the local fire chief to blow a whistle to begin the celebrations. Then, to my surprise, he pointed to us standing beside him. In Krishna's village of peace, just up the hill, he said to all the kids, you will get the best food. Be happy they are here. They are some of my best friends. The kids applauded in mass. Such huge publicity for the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya is rare in Kali Yuga, and I relished every moment. Later, Jurek's wife told us that the same night when even more kids were assembled before the main stage to listen to one of their favorite bands, Jurek came out spontaneously and grabbed the microphone. His voice boomed throughout the entire Woodstock area. If you think my friends, the Hare Krishna, are a cult, he yelled, then get out of here. He went on for 20 minutes glorifying our movement. The Lord works in many ways, and that night he worked most wonderfully. Three times of a day, Kripamoya Prabhu and Sri Prahlad Prabhu led kirtan parties of 50 to 100 devotees into the village to chant on the dusty roads, crisscrossing through the sea of tents the young people were camping in. Most of the kids were intoxicated, the only good effect of which was that they danced more easily with us. We were obliged to take a security team of 15 who protected us against those who had become bellicose from drinking. Our entertainment and Harinam was written up in a major newspaper after the first day. The devotees of Krishna have set up a beautiful village on top of a hill, overlooking the entire Woodstock festival, said the article. Streams of young people can be seen walking up the hill at any time of the day or night. There they enjoy delicious food and cultural entertainment from India. When the devotees descend into the valley with their singing groups, they are so attractive that even their enemies are forced to appreciate them. Our stage show ran non-stop from 10:30 a.m. until 3 a.m. the next morning. We had rehearsed the performances for months and tried to make everything dynamic and professional. Especially appreciated were the Ramayanas, the big masks, Krishna's Vrindavan Leela with big puppets, and the Indian dancers, the pantomimes, and the yoga demonstrations, all accompanied by music. A wedding on the third and final day brought tears to the eyes of many of the thousands of people watching. Just after the wedding, I met a couple from Zari, where Woodstock had been held in previous years. Do you miss having Woodstocks in your town? I asked them. No, said the man. We miss Krishna's we miss Krishna's village of peace. The various tents throughout our village were filled to capacity most of the time. In the crowd in questions and answers often spilled out onto the field, despite the many benches inside. And the temple tent was always rocking with the kirtan of Bibi Govind Maharaj, Shivaram Maharaj, and others. I came to Woodstock and parked my car near your village, a boy told me. I had to walk to the festival through your tent, but after I went in, I never left. I didn't even go down into the valley, and I'm not sorry. I came to hear my favorite bands, but ended up listening to only one song, Hare Krishna, for 3 days straight. The last day of the festival saw our biggest crowd. Many young people came to hear our devotee bands, Village of Peace, Dhira, Radical News, and Narsimha. At times, the main tent was filled with as many as 7,000 kids. On the last day, we stayed up all night distributing prasadam. And as the sun came up the next morning, I blissfully went back to our base to sleep for a few hours. Later that morning, Nandini Dasi, Jayatam Das, and I went to see the mayor to thank him for letting Woodstock take place in his town. When we arrived, his secretary asked us to wait in the lobby, and we could hear a loud argument taking place in his office. Finally, the mayor asked us in. Is something wrong? I asked. Those were businessmen from the town, the mayor said. They had set up many food stalls and they were angry because they sold practically nothing. The mayor smiled. Everyone went up to your village to eat, he continued. Those businessmen told me that they had to throw away 7 tons of meat because of you. When I asked them if they wanted to take any action against you, one of them smiled. No, he said, let them go. They didn't mean any harm. Besides, the Indian dance, yoga demonstrations, and Ramayana at Woodstock lit up Woodstock with their smiles. Did you go to Krishna Village of Peace? I asked. I was there every day, the mayor said. I appreciated it because it was so clean. But my family and I missed out on the food because we couldn't stand for hours in the long lines. No problem, I said, and I handed him a beautiful cake. We left the mayor's office and finished our preparations to go back up north and continue our summer beach festivals. But before heading out, we stopped to see Jurek Osiak and his team, themselves preparing to leave from just behind the main Woodstock stage. Jurek and I greeted each other with a big hug. Thank you, he said in English. Thank you, I answered in Polish. Did you get to distribute 100,000 plates of food? Jurek asked. Yes, we did, I replied. How did you like being up on the hill? I asked. I laughed. It was like a fairy tale, I said. But if it had rained, it would have been a nightmare. The angels are protecting us this year, he said. No doubt about that, I said. I envisioned Indra, Surya, and Vayu in their celestial airplanes. But we not be so lucky next year, he added. Before I could comment, Jurek turned to his team members and closest associate who had organized the General Woodstock Festival. They had all gathered to see him off. I want to make an announcement, he called out. They all stopped what they were doing and looked towards him. Next year, we will put the main stage we will put the main stage where the food stalls were this year, he said. It's a better vantage point. And where will the food stalls go? A worker called out. Jurek didn't offer an immediate alternative, as everyone knew the food stalls had not done well because of the popularity of our prasadam. Where the stage is now is a great spot too, Jurek's another man called out. It can be easily accessible by a concrete road and can be seen from anywhere on the field. What will you put here? Jurek was getting into his car. He looked back with a smile on his face. It's for my Hare Krishna friends, he said. It was yet another gift waiting for us 1 year down the road. Before leaving town, we made one last stop at the grocery store where devotees had been shopping throughout the festival. I braced myself to be followed again under suspicion of stealing. Instead, I was surprised to see all the cashier with gopi dots painted on their faces. As I made my purchases, they smiled, radiant from the association of devotees at Woodstock. I smiled to myself, thinking how the whole town of Kostazin and 300,000 visiting kids had been purified by our village on the hill. Once a place of unprecedented horror and suffering, the hill it had been transformed by holy names of Krishna into an abode of well-being and peace. Jagat Bandho Jagat Kartur Jagat Trana Hetave Yatra Tatra Hare Seva Kirtane Sthapite Sukhe. Wherever the service of the Lord, wherever the service to the Lord, who is the protector and creator of the universes, and wherever congregational chanting of his names were well established, they set the worlds in peace. Srila Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Shushloka Shatakam, verse 48. Hari Bol.
Amazing. So I I have just one point that these festivals, when Gurudev was doing, I think really long back. So I think of those kids they must have grown up now. I mean, like they must be in their adults, and how they would be like. So my only curiosity is to know about those kids and see few of them, that how their life has been transformed. So in our Pune, we have a Saswad center where temple gives them a prasadam every day to the schools, about I think 3,000 kids. So I was thinking that this movement will explode, I think, in coming 10-15 years. And yeah, so these kids are growing up by eating the prasadam. So I'm not sure about the education. So obviously they are getting education on those government, I think, schools. But definitely prasadam will work. So similar kind of, I think, the experience which these kids had in Woodstock festivals. So that would be wonderful, I think. Any other devotees who would like to speak about the chapter which is just read?
If you want to see the example, Hare Krishna, if you want to see the example
Yes, please.
of a person who had come from Woodstock festival, he is a
Yes.
Dujavara Prabhu who got joined in Woodstock. He, he
Jai.
got he
Wonderful
got
chapters
he got
gone
he
through.
got connected in Woodstock and then he joined forever.
Amazing. Yeah, I read many chapters about Dvijavara Prabhu. But I think Gurudev
Bhakta
written.
Dominic is mentioned somewhere. Bhakta Dominic in this mention about him, like how he is helping in couple of places. Diaries.
Yeah.
Plus, there
Just
are a
wanted
couple
to.
of yeah. Just wanted to share like there are a couple of like kids they still who were very small when Gurudev used to come, and they have such a bonding with Gurudev. Like I had seen in couple of festivals, there is a couple of kids like they regularly come every year, and they have such a nice like lovingly fatherly relationship with Gurudev because they were seeing Gurudev from when they were young kids. Gurudev is taking care of them, pampering them, and like panning their consciousness. So sometimes at some sexual site, if you are on college tour, you'll see couple of these kids who love to go and meet Gurudev and like associate with him and all and with festival. So yeah, there are still these kids are there who are still they're taking care of.
Wow. Beautiful, I think. That is amazing experience bro you had. I think you visited once, I think, that festival, right? So yeah, I don't know whether we are going to be in, I think, future or not. We are not sure. But yeah, I can understand from your experience. So any other devotees would like to share your relations on this chapter, or any questions, any doubts you can ask. Okay. So if you don't have any questions, Panjanya Prabhu, Vijayanisham Prabhu, would you like to share something?
Nothing specific from my side. True.
Okay. I think if we don't have anything to discuss, so we can close early today. And then we still have, but yeah, so we don't have much attendees also today. So we can close call, Prabhu. Are we good to go?
Yeah, yes, sure.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, devotees, for joining the Troopers call. It was a little short one today, but a wonderful experience by hearing the class from Madhu Krishna Prabhu and this nice Woodstock Festival chapter we just heard. Thank you very much for your association. So we will close the call by Vaishnava Pranam Mantra. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu vyavacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Namo Namo.
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
Jai.
जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्रील गुरुदेव की जय हरे कृष्ण.
We meet again next year, Prabhu.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Yes.